Okay, welcome everyone. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
The podcast has started in your ears and ours. My name is Julia.
I'm Mary Beth.
I'm Katie.
And hate to say it, everyone, but we have another very special episode featuring a very special guest. You may know it already because the title is going to be visible to you in this moment, but yes, it is sister of the pod, Laura Kolbicz.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to have
I clap,
you.
but you would never hear it in my
True.
microphone.
Oh yeah, we don't need to clap anymore, I don't think. Well, I don't know. Who
We'll do it
cares?
anyway.
No one cares.
Welcome, Laura. We're so excited.
So excited.
Hey.
Well, I don't know if Mary Beth is, but I'm extremely excited.
I'm excited.
I
Katie and I were gunning for this.
am excited.
And Mary
Katie
Beth
did
said,
say,
no way. We had to pay her.
get Laura. And I said, hold on, let me text her.
And
And then I
she-
said,
happened?
Laura said, sure.
He sent me a screenshot of that exact text message.
Oh,
That is what
God.
happened. Yeah, you guys should know that if anyone ever asks me to ask somebody something, I will just screenshot the conversation and send it to them. So be
Oh,
aware of that.
God. Okay.
what
good
if
to know.
what if
They
it was
will
something
receive.
like, well, I would prefer Brittany, but if Laura's available.
You know, if it's easier for me in the moment, I may still just screenshot it and send it.
God.
It really
know we're
feels
never
like
safe.
it depends on my mood and my energy level.
Well, we brought on Laura to talk about the US women's national team friendly, but before we get into that, Laura, just tell us your views on all of us based on Mary Beth's ask for you to do this.
Well, the other day, Julia texted me and I had a full conversation with her, not even knowing who I was talking to. So obviously
True.
not that important to me.
Okay, good. That's a Kolbicz answer. Yes, very true. Everybody should know that Laura is my go-to my go-to Swiftie. In that, I mean, I only just texted her for the first time the other day. And she answered all my questions and then
She didn't
said,
know the answer.
who is this?
Oh, my God. There was something that I wanted to talk to Laura about, and it is Taylor Swift. Is it okay?
Just ask. Yeah, just do it.
Okay. Did you hear the little clip of Taylor's re-recorded
A
love story?
in the
It
commercial.
sounds really good.
Wait,
It sounds
I don't-
identical to the
I thought it
Okay.
sounded the same. Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
someone told me it was the same, but I think that that's just like a testament to her that all these years later she can record a song and make it sound exactly the same as it did when she first recorded it.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, I was
excited.
impressed. I was like, oh, this sounds good.
Tell
Not
me
that
this,
it didn't
though.
sound good.
Because it did start with like violins, and I don't know if that was the commercial or if that was the song. Do we know that answer?
I don't think we know, but I was also confused about that because I thought it didn't really sound like Love Story, but then it started to. So I don't know.
Wait, that's my favorite kind of song is when the strings happen. Can I just say though, my brother and sister-in-law they got married in 2017. She walked down, Maggie
3
walked
years
down
ago.
the aisle. Walked down
This
the
happened
aisle.
3 years ago.
Yeah. Almost exactly. It was the 19th, I think, of December. Anyway, Maggie walked down the aisle to Love Story in the
In the
it was, yeah,
Violin.
the strings played it.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Is that cool?
That's cool.
Nice.
Ugh, whatever.
Do you care, Laura?
Yeah.
Well, I really am excited for these Masters. Honestly, the news. I'll take
Same.
anything from her.
Same TBH.
It'll be good.
But how appropriate is it that we have Mary Beth and Laura, two sisters, here to talk about
Oh,
some more
Look at that.
sisters? I was thinking about that all day.
Obsessed.
You've
I
been
didn't think
saving
about
that?
it once.
Yeah,
you didn't
I've
even
been
text
saving
it. You saved it.
No, I saved it. I was like, sisters on sisters, baby. Sister.
I love that.
The
That
reboot.
natural reaction. And the show Sister. I did watch the pilot not long ago.
Oh, good for
I've
you.
been watching it on Netflix.
Netflix, I
Great.
think.
It holds up.
It's good.
It holds up.
One of the ones that does. Yes, we've got what they call the Mewisters.
Do they
Right?
really call them that, or does the T-shirt just call them that?
It might be
The
new.
t-shirt does. I feel like for me, I want to call them Mew Two, like the Pokemon.
Yeah,
But that's trademarked, I guess.
I have
I
seen
wanna
that
call
on
them
the, I have
Mewtwo,
seen
like
that on
the-
the Twitter.
me too.
Me too.
I think
Hashtag Mew Two.
just call them Sam Mewis and Christy Mewis. I think I don't have a name for them. Is that okay? Should I leave?
I call them the
You
Mewies.
need to leave.
Yeah, you
The
should leave.
Mewies, I like
Everybody
that.
should have a nickname for them.
And they all have to be different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry. Oh, distracted. But we had a really great game. That we
Yes.
got to
Again,
watch.
this was the friendly on the 27th of November, aka Mary Beth's birthday.
It was. I did watch the game twice
Oh wow.
because I watched it and then Laura had to watch it because she was dealing with my mom's broken ankle
Oh yeah.
when
Exactly.
it was on. So then
I
she
too
watched
had to watch it
again.
twice.
Yeah, so she watched it again and I watched it. And she did say I did do a great job of not revealing anything that was going to happen. And so I'm proud of myself.
Right, I didn't know. She wouldn't even tell me if Alex Morgan was gonna play. And
That's true.
it killed me to not know. But I did ask 2 minutes before she got on the field.
I did consider it, but I knew it was coming. Yeah. But I also was wearing my mask due to your recent ER visit. And so I think that helped me not give anything away.
Poker face, mask
Yeah.
face.
Mask face.
Poker face. Poker face.
Well, Mary Beth behind the scenes is also pretty good at not giving away spoilers in a group chat
Yes.
too, because she's always 30 seconds ahead of us because when we're streaming.
You're right. And
so
I
she had a
remember
lot of
I did
practice.
give the most vague spoiler this game by just saying you guys in all lowercase letters.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't
Yes.
not say anything, but I was like, how do I not spoil this for anybody?
And for Mary Beth, that could be anything.
Yeah.
I could have like just had a popsicle and wanted you to know about it. It could have been
Yeah,
anything.
exactly. But I'm so glad. So you guys, so Mary Beth and Laura, you guys watched this. What day did you end up watching it due to ankle stuff?
It was this. She
Yeah.
watched it maybe 2 hours after I watched it.
Oh,
so I
amazing.
watched it and then watched it again.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so my initial question for you was coming into this game, Laura, what was your level of having no knowledge about the US women's national team or women's soccer in general?
Well, this is the first national team game I watched since I started watching it.
Hell
But
yeah.
mainly what happened was Mary Beth would not stop watching it and wouldn't do things with me because she had to watch soccer and it made me mad. So then I just, to annoy her, sometimes I sit on her floor and stare at her when I want her to do things with me and she doesn't. So I just went down there and started watching it. And then I liked it. It was during the Challenge Cup, I think.
Oh, yes.
And then I liked it. So I started watching it. And then I watched all the Red Stars games. And then that led us to this.
Yeah, you're a Red Stars fan. I think there was one day in the summer during the Challenge Cup where we were having a bonfire, and the only way I would do it is if we also watched the soccer game.
Oh, yeah.
On
I
the
put up
projection.
on the projector, yeah. And then Laura and Doug and Bree watched with me, and maybe the neighbors. Who's to say? They were probably peeking out the window. But yeah, you did just like then keep coming down and sitting on my floor and watching soccer games.
Uh-huh.
And here we are now.
Yeah, for everyone listening, this is how you get people involved is you start watching it and have your siblings want to hang out with you. I guess that's step one.
Yeah, some of us don't have that.
You just wait them out until they do what you want to do,
Yeah.
which is nothing.
Threaten them, withhold like hanging out with them from them. Yeah.
Usually I'd want to get ice cream and she'd be like, no, I can't. I have to watch soccer. And it made me mad.
I'm really impressed because honestly, sometimes I might choose ice cream.
Oh, I always chose soccer and usually have
That's
my own ice
impressive.
cream in the freezer. So
Oh, okay. Well,
They
Once
also
we
go
did-
well together.
get ice cream like every day this summer. So it was like when I
Yeah.
said no, it wasn't like a huge thing.
One
Yeah.
time
You
last
probably got
year-
it earlier that day.
One time last year before all of this, our power went out. I think it was during the World Cup. Our power went out and she made us go to Starbucks so she could watch the
It
end
was
of
the 2019 Women's World Cup final and our power went up and I was like, we're going to Starbucks. Load
okay,
up the
that's
car.
appropriate. Yeah. Load
I
up the
also watched
car.
that from a cafe. That finals game, I watched it from a cafe because I had to go to something afterwards.
I forgot my headphones that day and I think I did turn on the sound. Sorry, everyone in Starbucks. I had to hear.
They should all be watching it too.
It was quiet.
Oh My gosh. So going into this, so you knew Alex Morgan and you knew some players from the Challenge Cup. Did anyone like kind of stand out to you going into this game?
Well, really, I only knew who Alex Morgan was because she's friends with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And I knew she was good because of the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the people who I knew who they were weren't playing. And then I decided to like the Red Stars because I said that I would root for whatever team won, but then I decided I did not like the Houston Dash, so they were my second option.
Wait, this is a theme for us.
Yeah. And the Red Stars had the two people that I came up with nicknames for, and that was more fun for me. So then I chose to like them.
What players?
Savannah McCaskill, I feel like I don't know if I can really say that. It's not really nice.
It's not mean.
It's not mean, but it's like probably somebody.
Laura also loves Savannah McCaskill.
Yeah, I do. And Posh Spice.
Yeah. Which one is that?
Posh Spice. Bianca St.
George.
She does look like Posh Spice.
Totally.
That's true.
Yeah,
Laura nicknames players the same way we do based on people we know in life or
like.
celebrities. Yeah.
And I like Kaylee a lot, but just because she's very fast.
So fast. So fast, so good. I love her as well.
And that's it. That's the end of my story.
That's it. The very end. Well, okay, so I do just want to let people know that I am wearing my oldest Mia Hamm jersey. I think I got this when I was I don't know. Maybe it was not. Maybe it was 9 or 10. And I have my bright orange shirt on underneath. So we have Netherlands represented and we have the US represented.
I did write a report on Mia Hamm when I was in like second grade or something like that.
Huh?
I love that.
Why did you choose Mia Hamm?
I don't know. I think that was when Doug, our brother, played soccer, so I liked it. And then I thought she was cool, so I wrote a report on it. And I did play soccer for like 5 minutes when I was
Oh yeah, Laura, tell us about all the sports you've tried.
Yeah, basically I've tried everything once, but my parents always let me quit, so now I'm not good at anything. But I played t-ball, and that I would say I was pretty good at, but I quit because I wanted to go to coach pitch with all of my friends, but my birthday was past the cutoff. But Evan Thompson, whose birthday was one day before mine, got to play coach pitch. But my birthday was past the cutoff, so I got mad and I quit in protest.
Evan Thompson.
I think that's a fine response to that.
How old were you when that happened? Like
5.
7? I like
5
that.
playing coach pitch? That is young.
I was probably in like kindergarten or first grade.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I was allowed to do coach pitch until like, maybe like 7 or 8.
But he was, and I know it's just because he was a boy, so
You're right.
I wasn't happy. And
Way
then
to stick it to Livonia.
It was a protest. Yeah.
I played soccer, but it was like weird indoor rec center soccer, and they gave everybody a square and you weren't allowed to leave it. And I thought that was dumb, so I quit. And
How old were you then?
Probably like 8.
Rec center, like the Livonia Rec Center, like you played on those fields?
It was like indoor soccer, and we had to
Oh.
stay in a square, and I didn't like it.
Ew.
Instead, I did
It's not soccer.
gymnastics, and that I was just bad at, which if you know me, you can guess that I was bad at that.
Fun fact, Laura cannot straighten her leg. And she lays down and tries to straighten it.
And then I did the one thing in my life that I was good at, which was horseback riding.
You did?
But it was through Girl Scouts, and then they like didn't do another class after the first class, so I didn't do it anymore.
Where at Mayberry?
It was at Camp Innisfree.
Oh.
That was like an
Yeah,
hour
then it's
away.
free.
I have camped at Innisfree and Nairn. Those
I
are
was
the
good at
camps.
that. And
Where
every
is that?
time I came home, Mary Beth would make fun of me because I would say I learned to trot, and she would make fun of me for saying the word trot.
Still makes me laugh.
Yeah, there's trotting. Cantering, I always thought was like the coolest thing you could ever do. I don't think I ever galloped.
Oh.
Trotting was like as fast as we got for beginner 10-year-old Girl Scouts, but I was
I'm
good at
impressed. Color me impressed.
Man, I wish you got to keep up with that. That was my dream as a kid, is to horseback ride.
Be a
Is it
horse
because
girl.
of the Olsens?
Mhm. It might have been. I think it definitely
How
had
the
to
West
do with
was fun?
How the West was fun, and for sure, obviously, The Parent Trap.
And also
Oh.
in the finale of Full House, Michelle falls off her horse and
loses her
loses her
mind.
memory.
Yeah.
And then there's like 2 of them.
Was
for
that the
some reason.
finale?
I think so. Yeah.
that's the
She
series
can't remember
finale.
any of them. And then like the whole show ends where she like remembers the family.
That was a horrible episode.
Wait, there
'Cause,
were
yeah,
2,
like,
so
it's
they
like
had both
her-
of them in there?
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
it's her and she's like forgotten everybody. And then like her memory is there, I feel. And the other one plays her memory. Is that correct? Am I
Yeah.
It's something weird like that.
It's like they're both in there. Not the only time they've both been in the show at the same time, but probably the funniest.
That's so funny.
Yeah, because
Oh
she
my
has
God.
amnesia.
Okay, well, so you tried a lot of sports, and the one that stuck was, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, too damn expensive. Horseback riding needs to be more accessible.
Yeah. Like you shouldn't have to own a horse.
Yes, come on, or rent it, or like pay anything.
Right.
Everything
Ride
should
a
be
dang
free.
horse.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's. I mean. So you ran the gamut really on sports.
But I am not good at anything now.
I don't think that. Let's think of one you're good at. You're good at bocce ball.
That's
That is true. We did play bocce ball this summer.
See.
She did beat me every time. That counts. That's
Good.
like
See,
good.
you're good
That's
at
good at
something.
aiming and throwing. I bet well, no, you're not good at bowling. I was going to make the connection. Laura and I do play this version of bowling though, where like it makes it fun when you're bad at bowling because the idea is that you're aiming for the lowest score like golf, but the rule is you have to try as hard as you can. And so then you never know if you should celebrate or not. Like if you get a strike, you're like, yes. And then you're like, oh no. It's fun. I recommend it. So if you're not good at
Terrible
bowling.
at bowling.
Yeah. Same here. Same here. I think it's one of the most up and down sports.
I was in a bowling league. Did we talk about that before?
Yes. You were like a champion or something.
A champion because our handicap was so high.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so being someone this was, I'm assuming, one of the first times you were starting to watch sports, besides potentially the World Cup last year.
Yeah. I like
What
the
made you?
but that's like my 1 week of every 4 years that I
Yes.
watch.
Yeah.
Same with
Same.
a lot of the world and myself. But we're trying to change that. Okay, but you said that when you were watching it with Mary Beth staring at her, something clicked when you like started enjoying it. Do you have like a sense of like what that was?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like my reasons are like, I think it's funny when they like purposely pretend that they got fouled or something like that. So I just really thought it was funny. And then I don't know, I just liked it. So I kept watching it.
Yeah. Like the theater of it, like, like.
Which there was a lot of that in the Challenge Cup specifically. Not so much in the fall series. Was it just called the fall series? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But the Challenge Cup, there was a lot of it. And then they would like get up and start a fight. You remember that?
No.
Yes.
Oh, it
I
did
feel like a
happen.
lot of that was like Rachel Daly.
It was,
She's very
yes.
Oh, a lot of
fiery.
you
Like the
Yes,
dash.
because that's what it didn't happen in the fall series because she did
Yeah.
not play in the fall series.
There you go. Yeah.
We've
I will
solved it.
say,
We've
though,
solved
that I like-
soccer.
I like that you like don't know what's gonna happen and it can like turn around really quickly and like things can change. I like that about it.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, it is exciting. And I've said this before, it's just like fun to watch these women play. Something about watching women I think is like just more interesting. Like they're so good at what they do, so they're gonna make it interesting no matter what.
That's true.
True.
They're good.
They're good.
Yeah. That's why I was so excited when they announced that there was going to be one more game this year for the national team, because I love them.
I love them too. When is that?
It was.
That's the one that we
that's
27th.
what you're saying.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was a
when
good
they,
game.
Wait, when?
Yeah.
It was a good game.
Yeah, a little rematch of the World Cup final with the Netherlands.
Yeah, of the Starbucks game.
Yeah, the
Starbucks game. Yes. Yeah, the USA won 2-0, and honestly, so
should have been 4-0. I feel it was close. Those other two were close.
I mean, I feel like they just played so well, and part of it was so they played the Netherlands, like we just said, and Vivian Miedema was not there, and she is the best Dutch player, and honestly, I think one of the best players in the world right now. But she had a hip injury, so she was not playing, and I think that probably like really impacted Netherlands.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit more even, because the US hasn't played together in like 8 months, and also even like the NWSL didn't have a ton of games.
But have the Netherlands, like, have they been able to practice this whole time too? I guess I'm very sheltered into what's going on in the rest of the world with the pandemic.
Yeah, a lot of those players play in Europe, either like in like Germany or in the Netherlands or in England. So they've had those club games, like regular season club games. But also I did read that like since September they've been like the national team has been able to do stuff, and they've been going through their like European qualifiers for something over the last like several months. So they've definitely been together more often than the US, which has been together not at all. So
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. So I was definitely like not necessarily expecting like the US to go in and dominate in the way that they did.
Exactly.
Pleasantly surprised, but yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was good to see that they can just like hop right back in, because the Olympics are coming.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone's like, ooh, we'll see how this goes. But also because a lot of people that played, like there were some new people, and like the camp before it was a lot of newer people, right? And then some not familiar, or some familiar faces we didn't see. I don't know. Do we know like if they've been replaced or if they just sat out this camp? I know there's a lot of injuries, but then like Allie Krieger and Ashlyn Harris didn't play or didn't get called to camp.
I don't know like what people's reasonings were for like not being involved in camp, because I know some players just like weren't. I think he kind of knows what some players that have been around a long time, he knows what they're capable of. He knows like what they offer, and he kind of wanted Vlatko, the coach, he wanted the opportunity to kind of like see how other players would do in that situation.
Sure.
Yeah. And it is worth noting that like this is the first time that they've been all together, including with the players playing abroad hadn't been in that like October camp. So yeah.
Yes. And
like Sam Mewis and Rose Lavelle and Kristen Press and Tobin Heath. And
yeah, they've been all over. And I feel like even more like potential for being disjointed when you're playing abroad versus like some people in the US. Just things are like different, and there's different cultures that these people are like, players are like trying to get acquainted with their new teams abroad, and then have to like suddenly come back and turn it on with their home team.
I also wonder about like, I feel like it really must mess you up, like going to play, especially if you're not used to it, going to play internationally when the time is so different. So like they're playing at 8 p.m., but like the whole week before that, I'm guessing their sleep schedule has been messed up, right? Because they're 6 hours ahead of us. Some of them are from the West Coast, like that's 9 hours ahead. So I feel like that probably is something that's worth seeing as well, like how because I will tell you, I one time went to Seattle and it was like 3 hours different the other way, and I like slept the entire time. I couldn't handle it. So I cannot imagine having to do that as an athlete, and it's like a 9-hour difference in trying to live your life and function.
Yeah. That would be terrible. And you know how I feel about sleep.
Yeah.
It must be prioritized at all costs.
Important
so.
as hell.
I do agree. Katie is often asleep while Julia and I are having middle of the night text chats in the group chat.
And then I'll occasionally wake up and like react to something, and I'll be like, I don't remember doing that. So
or I'll wake up at like 11 a.m. and you've responded at like 7 to all of them as a whole.
And I'm always like, am I gonna wake them up? And then I'm like, they're fine.
Yeah. I put it on do not disturb.
Yes. We're do not disturb queens.
Do not disturb crew. Laura puts her phone on silent and then puts earplugs in. She's
That's smart.
Not having it.
And then I don't wake up until like 1 p.m.
Yeah. I feel like the last time I was like trying to work and the dog was barking as our listeners hear the dog barking. He would not stop. And I had to I opened your door and was just like screaming your name probably for a good minute before you heard me. Just like, Laura, wake up. Like you could have been dead. I didn't know.
I wasn't.
I wasn't. Wait, Laura, what time do you go to bed usually then?
Well, during the Christmas season, I'm up all night watching Netflix original Christmas movies or Happiest Season, which I've watched 3 times in the week that it's come out. So I usually go to bed at like 2 or 3, and then I wake up at like 1.
Solid.
But to be fair, I like wake up a few times before that to like let Harley out and feed him. So I'm awake. I just go back to sleep.
So the dog isn't neglected. That was my one.
No, he's not neglected.
No, and he sleeps nice and cuddled up in my bed with me, so he's fine.
We also live with several other people. Like, he's okay. Yeah. He's just needy.
Yeah, totally. Oh yeah, we should mention. Yeah, Laura and Mary Beth can just like knock. Is that what you guys do when you want to talk to each other? Knock.
We have
things down the laundry chute for her.
I did one time deliver ice cream to Laura through the laundry chute.
Yeah. You have a laundry chute?
Yes. You know what? The man that installed our boiler equally excited about us having a laundry chute.
Oh my God. I should text him.
Yeah, chat with him. He was surprised about like how it didn't just drop from the ceiling, but it was in the wall and then shoots out onto the floor in the laundry room. Which I thought
that is surprising.
I just thought that's what laundry chutes were, but apparently not. It's in the bathroom upstairs, and then Laura will travel to the bathroom and I'll tape the ice cream to a broom handle and shove it up.
Oh my God. I'm picturing an ice cream cone. I know it's not
like
that.
A drumstick. You're right. It's just in a wrapper.
But in a wrapper.
Okay. Oh, wow. I was picturing like
ice cream just like rubbed down the broom handle and
lick it off.
She spoons it off. Yeah, we have done that. I feel like you've sent me stuff down the laundry chute before.
Yeah.
But listen, if we don't do that, then you have to go like all the way across the house and up the stairs and then all the way across the house again. Mm-hmm. Or you could just go into this room and
shoot it up.
Shoot it.
The bathroom is on the other side of the wall that's right behind me.
We're both adjacent to the laundry chute in some way.
Okay. So this is your way of the secret messages.
Yeah. But also you can just hear everything. So like she can probably hear me from this basement on the other side.
You can always hear her from my room doing these podcasts, but she
Do you think the podcast is cool, Laura?
I mean,
look at her hesitate.
I've never really.
She's like, it's a podcast,
before, so I don't know.
Well, neither has anyone else. But what are your thoughts in general?
I mean, I guess I can't say podcasts aren't cool because I do podcasts or did podcasts for my job.
Worth mentioning, yes.
So
yes.
I can't say that they're not cool, but yeah.
If you have any tips for us, let us know. Do you right now?
No. Give us your tips. Go.
Okay. Well, just
I'm
make
not
sure
in that line of work anymore.
No. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, speaking of that this is a podcast, it is technically about women's sports. So I'm going to get back to, and we are talking about the US versus Netherlands friendly that happened Friday, November 27th. So I want to know what who stood out
Birthday,
to everybody.
just to remind
Mary Beth's
everyone, my
birthday.
birthday.
Yes, Mary Beth's
34
birthday.
years old. I've made it. I'm proud of myself for making it this far.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a good age.
Yeah, what were our thoughts? How did we feel? I
Let's
mean,
talk
I felt like
about
the
all-
US was like all over the Netherlands the whole time.
Yes,
So good.
I agree. Let's talk about all the cute stuff that happened. I felt like there was a lot of stuff in that game that made me go, oh.
Katie, I heard you cried.
Okay, I didn't cry. I did cry, but I wasn't
Did
like
cry.
sobbing. I teared up, and then I was like, okay.
That was when our girl Christy Mewis came in.
Yes.
And then
Okay, but you saw her face. You saw how happy
she
she
was happy. She was
It was
happy.
like,
and then
Fuck yes, girl.
Mm-hmm.
and
then in our group chat, Mary Beth's like right before she came on, she's 30 seconds ahead of us in watching it. She's like, "Oh my gosh, Katie," because I had been like excited about it. And then sure enough, Christy comes, and then Mary Beth says she needs to get a goal, and I was like, let's just let her like get a
yeah, you like
touch,
roasted
like-
me for it. You're like, she's
Yeah,
not
I
gonna
was
get.
like, I did not say she's not gonna get a goal.
But
I said
like,
let's just like not put pressure on her. And then 9 minutes later, she scored a goal.
Her
Her second
then
touch of the game.
was like a
And then I
really good
did
assist
cry.
from Lynn Williams too.
Oh,
Let's
great.
point that out.
That
It was
whole
nice.
sequence was crazy. It was Alyssa Nair kicked it. Alex Morgan's head was on it. Lynn
Yeah.
Williams flicked it to Christy, and then
Like
Christy
backwards.
took it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so cool. It was a great goal.
Yeah, and it was a great goal.
It
Yeah.
was a good one. Yeah, that's the one where like I couldn't not say anything, and so I just was like, "You guys,"
Yeah, and then
because I
sure
had waited.
enough,
I felt like I had waited so long before I sent that too. I couldn't hold it in anymore.
I almost missed the goal because I was looking at your text.
Oh, no.
Like, you guys.
That has
Sorry.
happened to me before.
And then who was the one who ran up to her first? Her sister.
Her
It was
sister.
very cute and
There
emotional.
they are.
Oh, I think I first started to get emotional in the first half when I noticed that Sam Mewis, her name was S. Mewis
Yeah.
on
Oh,
the
you
back of
did
her
like
jersey
that.
because there's also a K Mewis. So,
So there necessarily must be another Mewis. And it's just a reminder that these two are sisters and they've been sisters their whole lives and played soccer together and apart. And it's just like very cool to see them together. They're two of like the funnest players to watch too.
Yeah.
Like Sam has been like a kind of like a constant on the national team for a while, and Christy has sort of been in and out, or was in like 2013 and then had some injuries and whatever, and it's just like very cool to see them like play together. It's just so cool.
So this is
Yeah.
her first game on the. If anyone's listening to us for the first time, this is her first game with the national team in 6 years. Is that correct?
yeah.
Christy's first game, and then she got in, and then she scored, and that's why
Yes.
we're all so proud of her.
Yes,
Yeah.
she
And she
scored.
had
It
to-
just is
Yeah.
means a lot.
Except
And
for
she had
Laura,
to
who does
come-
not like the Houston Dash.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Upset.
But I mean, she like really like worked her ass off to come back from injury and to like get back into like top form, and then to be called back into the national team in itself is an accomplishment. And then she goes and she actually gets to play and she scores. Get out of town, Christy Lewis. Get
It
out
was
of
like
here.
this. I feel like this game did feel like someone wrote it just for me to like watch on my birthday and be happy for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
that
because
did
before
happen.
that, Rose Lavelle had like in the first half had like a really beautiful goal that kind of was reminiscent of her goal in the final, the World Cup final.
It was a
Just
good
like
one.
a similar place she scored from, maybe like a little more to like the one side of the goal, but just like, yeah, that was really beautiful too. Pretty goals, baby.
Yes, very pretty goals. Yeah, did anyone, Laura, watching it for you, did anyone kind of stand out and
Did you
were
cry, Laura? at
you,
all?
what points did you cry at?
Yeah.
I did not, but honestly, that's shocking because I cry at everything these days.
That's true. Laura does just always text me pictures of herself sobbing from watching like Christmas movies.
That's fair.
Well, Laura, I should tell you this before you answer this. Okay, the day that Biden was announced on that Saturday, I mean, it was an emotional week, and I was back in Michigan working the election, and I was going to Grand Rapids to see my brother and sister-in-law. We were going to go on a walk and stuff. And I listened to Folklore on the way and cried at every song on the album. Deluxe version, I cried at every song.
I feel like everybody's had a similar experience.
I agree.
Literally,
I will say I
can't listen to it because I know my emotional state in quarantine. I was like, you need to be in a better state to.
Have you not heard it?
I've listened to it like once, and I was like, I'm gonna put this on a shelf and revisit it at a later date. That later date hasn't come because my emotional state hasn't improved, but one day.
Yeah.
I don't think I've cried at that album. I'm sorry.
Well, you need to go for a long drive after a long week of stress.
Turmoil. I feel like I've done that before, but maybe didn't listen to that album. I don't know.
Right.
We'll see. I'll give it a go.
But crying during the national game, what parts did you cry at, Laura?
Specifically.
When they took Alex Morgan's goal away from her.
Same.
That's all I cared about the whole time. And I really thought that it was a real goal. And Mary Beth just gave me a look like, you're not going to like what's coming. And then I
feel like the ref gave Alex Morgan that same look.
Yeah.
She was
she was like, sorry, girl. Yeah.
But how great was it that I was so happy for her.
I'm happy. That was another cute moment because she's back for her first game with the national team. I think since the World Cup finals, right?
Yeah.
But definitely since she had her baby, and she played great.
And her little baby was there in its funny blanket watching.
You're right.
So cute. She's so cute. Yeah, I wrote down there was a Charlie sighting.
Yeah,
so cute.
with like her like velvet blanket and just her head.
And her
out,
she always has a bow on her head. I'm like amazed that kid can keep the bow on because I feel like kids are always like taking it off like this headpiece. She's very cute. Yeah, it was very nice to see Alex Morgan out there kicking ass again.
Killing it. Another cute moment, both Sophia Smith and Jaylene Howell got their first caps together, and they've been playing soccer together since they were little children.
Which is so cool and something I didn't realize.
Yeah. I only know like really from cute. That I feel like they post that picture of them together when they were kids a lot. So like I did know that they played together before. And I find it to be adorable.
It is adorable. Yeah.
They did both get to play, and Sophia fouled 8 times in 30 seconds.
I did like that though. Remember, I was like, "Ooh, she's aggressive."
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it because she wasn't like afraid to do anything.
Because she's not timid.
That happens a lot, where it's like, what do I do? And she was just out there busting kneecaps.
Julie Foudy and Sebastian, whatever, were just talking about the announcer for that game.
Salazar.
I'd say it's Sebastian Stan, because that's what I thought you were going to say. And I was like, why was he there?
Wait, who's that?
He's like
an actor.
He's an actor.
Oh.
He was on Gossip Girl.
He's in some of the Avengers movies. He's a Winter Soldier. Yes. Thank you, Laura.
Well, anyway, so they were talking about like how at camp, the younger players were trying to like find themselves and like a little bit timid and stuff. So I would bet that, she's going out there just wanting to be aggressive. And, if that's her only goal, no pun intended, for this game, like, then I think
success.
That's a great goal.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cute too. There was a lot of like heartwarming moments for sure. I was looking at the US Soccer app, because I downloaded it one time because they were like, we're going to show you something. And then it like wasn't interesting, but,
what did they show you? I have to know.
I think it was like a clip from like the October camp, like live, but you couldn't hear anything. And it was too far away. And I was just like, fuck
I've
this.
turned those on before. And then I'm like, I am not interested in watching you practice.
I feel like I totally am, but I know the anticlimactic feeling.
But I was looking at the app and it had like some stats from the game, and the possession is so skewed. Like, if you had to think about it, I'll speak for myself. If I had to like reflect back on the game, I would have said like, oh yeah, the US like outpossessed the Netherlands like so much because they were all over them. But actually the Netherlands like had like 62% possession in the game.
Oh
really?
Wow.
What, isn't that shocking?
So I also remember Julie and Sebastian, my friends, talking about how you can't really like think about like you can't really like look at stats or whatever, and then I think they show like
Yeah.
shots on goal or something. But I'm guessing that they probably mean possession, because there were a lot of times when Netherlands would just be passing it along their
Yeah.
defending line. It just, I never, like, whenever they had the ball, all I was watching was US
Yeah.
and how they were
I think
defending.
I think because in my mind, like, if you have more possession, then you have like automatically, I know this isn't true, but automatically you have like more shots on goal, and
Right.
you would think.
It is surprising to me. That definitely
Yeah,
is.
so I was just like surprised by that stat, but it was cool also.
Huh.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't I feel like when I think back to the game, I don't remember them having possession that often, but
Yeah.
good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy for them, honestly. Yeah,
It's all about what you do with the ball when you have it, I guess.
I guess so.
You know?
That's
And
what
it's worth
I
mentioning that I
always say.
am Dutch, and like under other circumstances, like I would like root for them, like, and
They're very fun. They're a
I,
very
for
young
some
team
reason-
too.
yeah.
I for some reason always root for the Dutch in speed skating in the
Really?
Olympics. Yeah, they wear like full orange like suits,
Hell yeah.
like bodysuits, and that's why I know that they're the Dutch, and they're very good.
They're very good. Yeah. Well, okay, I heard, because I watched the game again, and it was either Julie Foudy or Sebastian, our friends, Salazar.
I imagine them as like puppets now that you keep calling them your friends. They're just like
Our friends Jules and Seb. One of them said that it's like a really young Dutch team, and their oldest player is 30,
Oh wow.
and it's the goalie Van Veenendaal, who was great.
So good.
But yeah, their oldest player is 30.
Are they a
So,
lot of the same players that were in the World Cup and they were young then too?
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
That means they'll be able to like stick around and like be good
Mm-hmm.
for years and years,
Yeah, which is cool.
because they are a good team.
Yeah, they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
Not the other day, but in general.
I mean, they were fun for us to watch.
Yeah.
And I bet it's them that are the speed skaters that I like to watch too. I bet.
Yeah,
it's
they play both.
specifically- Yeah. They speed skate to and from their soccer games, and that's how they got so good. They're always running late. That's why they're fast. Laura's just gonna roast me when this is over. Look at her face.
That's a thinking phase. That's a roasting phase, planning out her attack.
She's like tallying
He
it.
hates me.
Yeah.
Laura, first of all, besides Alex Morgan, did anyone like kind of stand out to you? Like, oh, she's good, or she's cute, or I like her hair, or
Or how does that scrunchie stay? Keep that hair up so tightly.
any questions?
I don't know. I feel like the only other person that I kept noticing was the one I kept shouting "aim lower" at.
Oh, Lynn Williams.
Was it Lynn or was it?
It was Lynn.
Kristen?
It was Lynn because she
Yeah,
kept
Lynn. Oh my god.
just going a little high, and she knew she was doing it too.
Yeah.
You could see it on her face, and I feel like she must have then like been getting more and more frustrated,
Yep.
and then missing more and more because of that, which feels relatable in life.
Relatable content.
I also liked the one girl who got to play, Christy Mewis. She was cool.
Ooh,
put
you
it
are a Dash fan
I
now.
put aside that she was a Houston Dash. I think in in a different environment, they're okay.
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
completely fair and
But-
normal.
It was
Yeah, I like her
It's a
too.
different team. If you put
Yes,
one
yeah.
of them on a different team,
Yeah,
So it's the team you dislike, not the players.
well, I
a
guess
combo of players
No.
on that team.
I see.
I feel like I need to do further research. I honestly think it's just like their neon orange jerseys that somehow make me mad at them. I really don't know.
Just
Yeah,
fires
for
you
me,
up.
a lot of like my feelings early on is about what they're wearing. I'm like, Utah,
You hate when they're
Not a
wearing
fan.
white.
don't wear the white. I could speak for hours about how I think white all white kits are stupid.
But you bought
and
the
I
white
have.
one.
That really is so funny to me. I can't stress to you enough how, like, I think white, like, it's more universal that white is, like, the cooler, like, uniform.
That's interesting. I want somebody to do a study on this, that
I
you
think-
feel that way, but I also feel like the white ones are the worst ones.
I also think that like this year in the NWSL, the white uniforms look just like really cheap. And I think
do
that
agree.
was part of my problem.
The shape of the uniforms this year,
And, like,
we
the
did talk about
thin,
this.
like,
It's so weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
The shorts,
But
like,
I'm anti-white shorts, just in general. I'm anti-white shorts.
okay.
People bleed, okay?
Just
Fair enough.
Just let it flow.
Fair enough. Yes. What'd they wear this game?
Blue. Where'd your background go?
Yeah, you
Your
noticed.
background would have told. They were wearing the blue ones.
Yeah.
But their white jerseys this time have like blue shorts, so I'm okay with them.
Mm.
And yes, you're right, Mary Beth. I did buy the white one, but only because the blue one was sold out in my size and player. So
Let's see. Natural.
I do. Mad
Uh,
about it. Whatever.
I feel like, man, I think it depends on the white jersey for me, or like the full white ensemble.
Yeah. Well, because I will say I didn't hate the like 2019 all white ensemble, but maybe those are just like better made chips. Haha. No. Quality. They're better quality.
They're not made by Gildan.
They're wearing gilded.
They're not made by what did I call them? Like
Glidden.
See, I hate them so much I can't even like remember their name.
Yeah, my goat tea is really like paying the price for being cheap.
For being a Gildan.
That's so weird because my goat tea is super nice.
I know.
I feel like then they had to reproduce and they had to
Yeah.
get them fast and they wanted to capitalize. And
Yeah. It was cheaper. But
Yeah. Yeah. And
Gildan
long
is not
sleeve.
one of our sponsors.
And will not be after they listen
No,
to this.
they could give us $1 million and I would say, no, thank you.
I'd say thank you, but
Unless
I'm
it's
still
the
gonna bash
sweatshirt
you.
division of Gildan, because I find their sweatshirts very cozy.
Oh, yeah.
Agree.
Totally.
Okay, I agree
But
with
t-shirt
I
Gildan
still have
is
a
not our
Frost
sponsor.
Phantoms volleyball sweatshirt.
Oh my gosh, can I buy it from you?
Okay.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
that. Okay.
I guess it's probably a sweatshirt that you like had to buy as like your own separate merch. Remember
think
they used
so,
to
yeah.
give us like sweatsuits to wear and they
Yes.
like took them away
Yep.
after.
Yep.
You
Loaned them
weren't
out.
allowed to
Yeah.
keep it. Yeah.
That was true through well, at Stevenson we had to buy. They didn't really give us anything except for jerseys, but in college they gave us like warm-ups that we would have to give back.
That's so strange to me.
It's
Like,
funny.
especially in college.
Yeah.
You are a university, you make money. I
Mhm.
pay you $30,000 a year. Like, give me free sweatpants.
Probably more. She went to a private school.
Yeah.
Oh god. Let's not talk about it.
I feel it.
Yeah. Ugh. Stupid. Well, is there anything else for this game? That kind of, I just, all around, I want to say, I was impressed with every single person that played. I could not believe how strong everyone looked, even after seeing like the fall. Laura, I don't know if you noticed this, but I just felt like even after seeing the Challenge Cup in the fall series, people like Kelly O'Hara, that I was like, oh man, her ankle must be hurting. This game, I was like, she looks strong. She looks good.
Yeah.
There were like a ton of
It's
people.
gotta be
that I
like
felt
it's gotta
that
be
way
like adrenaline, and they're excited to be back on that team, and they're excited to be playing, and like
about.
And they know they have to like prove themselves
Yeah,
to
they're all
go to the
together.
Olympics.
Mhm.
But I will say that a couple players stood out to me. Becky Sauerbrunn, who I love. I thought she was great. Her like defending was awesome.
Mhm.
Tobin Heath was like back there doing the defensive work too. And I thought I
She
watched the
played
game again.
Great.
She did play great. I watched the game again, and like I know Lynn Williams like was off target with some shots, but her
assists were
defensive
good,
work
though,
and her
too.
assists, like she did a lot of like playmaking and like going back to defend and stuff, which I was like, oh wow, she's doing like a lot of work there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Crystal Dunn,
Crystal
some of the
Dunn,
stuff,
Crystal Dunn,
some of the
good.
stuff she did.
My
yeah.
God.
I mean, they all had really good, solid games.
They were great. I did wish
Rose Lavelle, obviously.
Oh my
She was
God, so
all
good.
over the place.
Yeah, which is good to see because I feel like Man City has been doing her dirty.
Yeah. After
Same.
they've plopped her in the wrong spot. Let her
Yeah.
redeem herself.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. The one thing is I wanted a little bit more from Kristen Press. Obviously she was still good, but like I don't know. I guess I didn't see a whole ton.
Yeah, I was listening to she did like she was one of the what am I saying? She did like an interview. She was one of the players they talked to. I can't remember if it was like before the game or after the game. But she was saying that, like she being at Manchester United, she's still trying to like figure out because she's playing in a slightly different role and she's trying to figure out like what she can do to best contribute to that team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe like switching back to the US, there was just a little bit of like a struggle, I guess.
I hear that.
But she was so great in the like CONCACAF qualifying games.
Yeah,
earlier this year.
Mhm.
And She Believes, like Julia, we
Yeah,
went to
yeah,
the She
yeah,
Believes
yeah.
game and
True.
she was great.
You are right. Yes.
So I think maybe it was just like an off, well, obviously, because she's like great, but it was just, but I agree
Been a
with you
weird
there.
year.
Yeah.
It's also high expectations too.
Yeah. But they did say the stat that like she has scored or assisted in 26 of the last 27 games
That's insane.
for the US.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is, like-
her. The amount she's putting in for like stats and stuff is like really undeniable. I think like overwhelming. Just like I get so like my heart fills with joy when I see this team play. Like every single player, I just am like, oh my God, they're on the field. They're like playing together. It's very
It's
cool.
exciting. And they just like all have good chemistry, like
Mhm.
playing together and seem to like each other and have fun. And it makes it interesting to watch.
Yeah,
And they're good.
they're good.
She's all good. All
She's good. All of them are
good.
she's good.
She's as good.
She's
are good.
She's
our
our good.
good.
She's our good. That's it. That's the right way.
Yeah, definitely. That's grammatically correct. Oh no.
Uh-oh, what happened?
My computer unplugged and I'm dying. Okay. I'm back, baby.
Well, speaking of the U.S. women's national team, they have just reached a settlement with the U.S. Soccer on unequal working conditions. So off the field, they've been fighting for this. And this is sort of huge news. I don't know if anyone wants to like explain this better than I can, but I know that it's like important.
Yeah, so there's two parts of their lawsuit. There's like the equal pay portion of the lawsuit, and there's this like unequal working conditions portion of the lawsuit. So earlier in the year, a judge like ruled against the U.S. women's team in their equal pay portion of the lawsuit, but they could continue with their like unequal working conditions lawsuit. Basically, they're saying like our facilities, our accommodations, our per diem, our fields we play on are not at the same level.
They don't get like the same
men's
support
team.
staff also, like everything pretty much is not at the same level.
So I guess they came to a settlement with US Soccer over that portion of the lawsuit. And once that's settled and complete, they can then appeal the like equal pay ruling. So that's good. I mean, it was nice that they came to an agreement with US Soccer, but it's not over, but it's also a good step in the right direction. But also like, it's really like shameful that they had to like file this lawsuit for US Soccer to like change in any way.
Right. But also, so since this all started, because the president of US Soccer, remember he like said they weren't equal and then they fired him or he had to resign or something. Now the new president is a former player. The national team. And I think that's very helpful to them, at least as far as getting equal working conditions. She's like,
Yeah.
yes, we
and
will
and
do
she
that.
it's
I can attest.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's Cindy Parlow Cone. She's a
Yeah.
former player, and she did say like, I hope that this like opens a new chapter like between US Soccer and the women's team, because they do also next year have to negotiate a new collective bargaining agreement. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically what you're saying is there's two parts of this lawsuit that they have. It's like sort of suing for like, this is what you've done, this is all the like mistreatment and inequality that we've had. Also, we want equal pay. So basically this settlement that they've reached will then allow them to appeal the decision that a judge overturned before, and now they'll be able to be like, okay, pay us. But I also, this is what I also was reading, that like, because they signed this CBA that was existing, so getting that like millions of dollars in back pay or whatever is gonna be really hard. But that there will be like other things that they can get or something.
That's what's like that's what's confusing to me, because people are like, well, they signed that agreement. But to me, I'm like, yeah, they signed that agreement because after months and months and months of like back and forth trying to like come to an agreement, that was like as far as US Soccer would go. So are they supposed to like for their like lawsuit to have legitimacy, are they supposed to just like refuse to
sign
play? Like these people have to get paid, like they have to make money. So like at the end of the day, you're gonna have to sign like something, even if it's not what you think you deserve. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I just don't get that argument that it's like not that you're making it, Julia, but I have heard that like I just don't get like.
No, you're making a great point.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Fully. I feel like that's politics. Is like something has to be agreed upon, and just because a policy is in place doesn't mean that like all parties are like, this is the best thing that we were
or that it's
for.
like right and just and fair, like
right.
Something else that
I was forced to almost. Sorry, go ahead, Mary Beth.
Something else that I was reading on this when I was reading an article about this. I don't remember what article I was reading specifically, or I would shout it out. But it was talking about how the new president was talking about how like, well, if we were to give them all of that money, we would go bankrupt because we don't have FIFA does not give us that money for women's soccer, which like obviously there are other like they can figure things out. I don't know. I'm not saying they need to like give up on this, but she did seem like maybe US Soccer could then go forward and help like negotiate with FIFA to get the women's soccer in general like more money as prize money for like World Cups and stuff. Because I think it was like, man, these are numbers that I'm vaguely remembering from reading an article at 2 a.m. But it was like the French men's team got like 38 million for winning the World Cup, and the US women's team got 4 million, somewhere around those numbers.
And I think that the winning team for the women got like a similar amount as like the team that came in like 16th place or something for the men.
So what she's saying is like, well, that's so much money that we wouldn't be able to, if we gave them that's our entire budget. Like we couldn't play. But then
that is one part of it though. But also I think they're saying that their salary that they make from US Soccer is unequal too.
Sure. Yes. And certainly like I'm on their side in this situation, and I think that they can work something out better for them. But I like that she's coming into it though, the new president, with the mindset of let us also go forward with you and like get FIFA to like fix it also, so that like we can get you that money. And I hope that actually happens and that they actually can do that.
And I think a lot I think US Soccer can and should, they have the power to agree to like an actual like more equal pay scale and structure within this new CBA. So if they're actually committed to like equaling things out, then that's what they should do. And it should be a really easy, like they should give them what they ask for. And it should be very easy. But, you know, we'll see.
Totally.
Probably not going to be, but yeah.
Hopefully
But yeah, I agree. It was cool to see her be like, yes, US Soccer is part of the problem, but also part of the problem is FIFA. And we want to work with you guys to like make progress there. So that was a good thing, I think.
I guess I'm just hopeful that like with someone that's like been them in charge, they can make real changes and not be like, well, women are less than men, so they deserve less than men. Like that was garbage. Throw that man in the trash.
Yeah, it certainly can't hurt for sure.
Look at Laura's face. Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he like came out. I don't remember. Does anyone remember the exact statement he made? It was real gross. It was yucky. He got the boot.
It was like their lawyers making the statement, but like on behalf of US Soccer, which he was in charge of. It was basically like, since women are like weaker and like not as strong as men, they're inherently doing a different, lesser job. So they're not doing equal work because it was just something convoluted, like
it sounded like like it was so ridiculous. Whatever it
nuts.
was so
was
ridiculous that it
atrocious,
felt like it was made up. Like
it was like this would be on Veep, like something like
it truly felt satirical, but it was their real statement from US Soccer.
Yeah,
that's just so interesting to me because I don't even want to watch men's soccer. That's like
right. I know.
They're
agree.
not interesting to watch.
The only game that was interesting to me so far was that shootout that they had that the goalie got a red card.
Wait, what happened?
That was wild. I feel like that was when our chat was malfunctioning and I kept trying to send you the link.
Oh.
He like jumped off his line and they gave him a red card. So then like another.
Well, because I think you automatically get a yellow and he already had a yellow card. So he got a red.
And then it got thrown during penalty kicks. But since you can't bring in another goalie during like extra time or whatever and penalty kicks, one of the defenders had to come in.
Oh my God!
He got his red card on the save that they thought had won them the game in the playoffs. It was Orlando. And then but anyway, I'll send it to you, but the defender ends up winning the game for them.
And there's like a 10 or 15 minute sequence where like they're not sure if they can sub a goalie on or not. It's just like
it was very dramatic. Look it up. I've
exciting.
never heard of this.
I think he was like talking
before.
to people.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
He had no idea what was going on, and they kept like coming in and like changing their jerseys, and then getting sent off, and then coming back in, and nobody knew what was happening. But it went into like sudden death, like because he didn't save the first one that the other guy had saved, so it went into like sudden death, and then they didn't know the rules of sudden death, and so they thought they won, but then they didn't win yet. It was like very wild.
It seems to me that these people are just stupid and don't need help.
I feel like that ref deserves unequal pay. That man.
I feel like if a woman had been involved, that would not have happened.
Yeah.
I will say that if I was a goalie and you told me I had to go be a goalie, I would say no thanks, we can lose.
You're not.
No, Laura, you play goalie for this team. You have to go out there.
I can't even handle when Mary Beth kicks a ball at 0.5 feet per hour at me.
Hey, I'm a pretty good kicker.
Feet per hour, just thinking about how slow.
I've got a strong leg. I can't aim it, but I can kick it hard.
Yeah, that's almost worse.
It's like what Leah was telling us about, just like throw it as hard as you can and not.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's my soccer style.
Oh, that's so funny. It is scary. It is honestly very scary. And I'm so happy to know that rule now.
Yeah, it's great.
We also had some other news dropped today, I think, today being December 2nd, 2020, that we had a trade, yes?
Yes.
Finally, I think we've talked about how she wanted this before, but they wouldn't give it to her. Kelly O'Hara going to the Washington Spirit.
Yes.
Which she wanted.
Which is
'cause
where,
she
I mean,
lives
because she
there.
lives in DC. So it was kind of common knowledge. We've talked about it on this pod before that was like the hope.
She previously
Yeah.
played for Utah, although I feel like for me, only watching the NWSL for like 6 months, I've seen her play maybe once
Yeah.
for them.
Coming back from that ankle and stuff.
Yeah, and then she
I
didn't
think
play
I
in the
read
fall
somewhere like
series.
how little she played for Utah, but she's had like some injuries and she's gone for the World Cup. It's just a combination of factors. But yeah, she didn't play very much for them, and I think she was kind of wanting out of there.
Where did she
And,
play
yeah.
before
Yeah.
Utah? Did she was there another team and she probably
She played
did
for,
not
like,
get traded there, or what was
4
the
or
deal?
5 years for Sky Blue.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Interesting.
I didn't realize
Well,
that.
happy she can live in her own house, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for
That's
her.
always
Yeah.
nice.
Well,
Yeah, that
Laura,
is
I don't
good.
know if you're aware of this, but getting out of what reminded me was like getting out of the whole Utah stuff. There's like just shit that's been going down with their administration. Like seems to be on both the men's side and the women's side some like racism and just kind of like general bullshit in like the coaching staff and
Oh yeah, I think I saw that on Twitter.
oh yeah. Oh, cool. You saw that.
Yeah.
But I also saw on Twitter, like in the last couple days, that like it seems like Utah, because of those issues, is kind of in danger of folding the franchise, and like we definitely don't want that to happen.
Exactly.
I think that I read that like a new owner wants to move them potentially back to Kansas City.
I saw that
don't
too.
know. Yeah,
There's been a lot of chatter
it's a
going
lot
on.
of speculation, I think, of what they're going to do with this Utah team.
I feel
I'm
like I
happy
heard that
to
on
give
Mix.
them like my savings, which is not much, and we would need a lot of people to do that.
Katie.
But
better
I would
find
love
a
to be
good
a part
Detroit team.
owner. Let me be a part owner.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, then yes, I would too. Yeah, how much you have to give to be a part owner? Well, I feel like we can do that. The amount we
Right?
make from this podcast, we could probably give that.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
$0.
you can have all
Take
of
my
that.
money.
Negative,
Whatever we pay for
Yeah, we
our
were losing
accounts.
money, but it's fun.
yeah, but it's fun.
Worth it.
We enjoy ourselves. It is worth it.
It is worth it.
But what does this mean then for Utah would get? Does this mean Utah would get something in some sort of, is that what they would get, like a draft pick because of this or no?
So I think they traded Kelly O'Hara to the Spirit. The Spirit gave Utah some allocation money and potentially a first-round draft pick.
Oh, okay.
It's contingent on like the number of games that Kelly O'Hara plays with the Washington Spirit, and I think they kind of did that because she didn't play a lot with Utah, and they were like, we don't want to put all our eggs in this basket. No
Yeah.
And
offense.
plus, she's got national team stuff this year.
Yeah.
But also, like, if she's playing where she wants to play, then she's probably more likely to.
And
play
if she's
with
healthy,
them.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She looked
hopefully
great
she
in
stays
that game.
healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
She did.
Someone else that looked great was Sarah Fuller in that Vanderbilt game, which is not soccer. It's football, but she's a
Yeah.
soccer player. Should we
Yes.
get into that a little bit? Sarah Fuller came in because Vanderbilt's football team, which I know nothing about, had a little COVID outbreak in their special teams. They needed a kicker, and they needed a kicker fast.
So they
their
said,
coach-
let's get
Let's
one of
get
the
Sarah
women's soccer
Fuller.
players.
Their coach reached out to the soccer team, and Sarah Fuller signed on and was their kicker in the last game. And she got to kick exactly one time because their team is not good. Not the soccer team, but the football team is
Yeah,
not
the soccer
good.
team
So
won
they-
like the SEC champion.
Yes, the
championship
soccer
or
team is
something.
champions. She is a champion, but the football team never once got into field goal range, so she's not able to kick. She
Oh.
did do a kickoff. That was good. I guess we watched it. It was a good kick. It was a squib kick. We've learned what that means.
Wait,
I don't
what
know
is
what
it?
that means.
No.
So it's basically it's not meant to go high and far. It's meant to just kind of roll along the ground, and then they can't
okay.
return it. They have to fall on it.
Yes.
So
Oh, because you
the
can only return it
speculation-
if you catch it in the air.
well, if you fall on it, then you can't get up and run with it. basically.
Oh,
So it's
oh.
not like if it's rolling around and you fall on top of it, then you're down, right?
Oh, okay, right.
I think that's the case. Sometimes like football players can get up and run with it, and I never know why. Usually, like if it's like an interception or something. Anyway, so the speculation on the internet was they had her do that so that she couldn't then be risk of like getting in the play and getting tackled.
Got
But
it.
I think she also could handle a tackle. She's like 6'2". She's bigger than some other kickers in the NFL, I feel.
But you see her compared to all of them. I feel like
right.
she can hold her own. I have no doubt. But like
it
you
would
kind of
be
realize how big football players
yeah,
are.
I do feel like she would get squashed, but I don't think she'd die.
Yeah,
how I
she's
feel
Why
like,
about
risk it?
like
she's
any
like,
other.
I don't want to
yeah.
die for one game.
There are a lot of rules in football about like not being able to like touch the kicker, and I feel like once a play happens, they're fair game, and so that's why I think they
That's
are not.
insane.
That's my very rudimentary way of describing what I've observed in a football game. But anyway, it was a good kick. It went where it was supposed to go. It stayed in bounds. It was good. I wanted to see her just boot it high and far because I know she can. We've seen videos, but they did not allow us to. Not her fault. The fault of the football team.
I saw people
being 0-8 now.
I saw people on the internet, and by people I mean gross white men, yelling at her about her kick, and then she like tweeted a picture in response of her kicking a soccer ball from the goal all the way across the field to the other goal, and she was like, "I'm just gonna put this here."
Yeah, I saw that as well. And then they scored on it like it was an assist from like all the way on the other side of the field. So she can kick it. It's just
that's not what they wanted her to
wasn't
do.
What we wanted to see. We wanted to see her boot it, and they wanted any excuse to criticize her for it.
Yeah. Also, LOL, when your whole team has COVID.
she didn't been kicking a soccer ball or a football for exactly 1 week before she went out there, and they're like, "Oh,
it was good."
Yeah.
Wait, but okay, so this is gonna be a dumb question, but like, I'm very happy. Obviously, this was the best case scenario, but like, did they ask the guys' soccer team too, or
I don't know? Maybe they're not good.
They don't have a men's soccer team.
That's so funny. A perfect storm. This is so great.
Got it. And I did read an article that they're going to keep her on as kicker, and I hope they let her actually kick, because they say now they have other options as well, and I hope they're not just using this as a way to get people to watch their games now because they're so bad and nobody wants to watch them.
Yeah, like Tottenham Hotspur did when they kept saying Alex Morgan was on the bench going to come into the game, and I woke up at like 6 a.m. for like 3 weeks.
Totally.
She never did. Yeah, but I hope that I want to, because I found that video of her warming up, and she hit every single field goal that she tried during warm-ups and every extra point. So I just want her to be able to, but they did not score a touchdown, and they did not get into field goal range. Maybe next time. Yeah. I did find a random channel to be able to watch the SEC network. I didn't know that I had that since we don't live in the South, but we do.
That's good.
Wait, real quick, what is SEC again? Southern Eastern Conference.
Southeastern,
something
I think.
Like that, yeah.
Southeastern. Okay.
So anyway, rooting
props
for
to her.
Sarah
That's so
Fuller. Yeah.
Gosh darn cool.
She's the first one that played in like an actual elite conference, I guess. She's not the first woman to play college football, but she is the first woman to play in an elite conference. I think she's the third woman to play.
Oh, incredible.
Okay. Yeah, and I think they're all kickers, but
well,
I think
if you count Lindsay Lohan in Life Size.
You're right. I do always count her in everything she does.
Good call.
I count her first.
She's number one.
So I hope that they play her in their next game and that she is able to show us what she can do, because she good. And then I did just see today that the women's national football conference is going to be streaming their games, which is exciting. I think it's probably another subscription I'm going to have to get because it's something I've never, it's called like Vire. I don't know. It's a something, but it's on Roku, so I can watch it.
And the National Women's Hockey League is going to be in a bubble this like in the beginning of the year. So
Yeah, for like a week,
hopefully-
I think.
hopefully they show games.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll get those. We'll get football in the springtime, volleyball in February,
Volleyball?
right? We're gonna have more sports than
Volleyball.
just soccer in just a little bit. Everyone, hang on there.
Yeah. It's gonna be a flurry of sports.
Yeah,
And it's gonna be busy. And it's gonna be busy. Yeah. Well, so cool. Do you guys have any other announcements or questions or anything before we sign off?
announcements. Oh, I will say this. In the last pod, we talked about who it was that scared baby Charlie and fell down and rolled around on the floor.
Yeah.
And I will say, Katie was right. It was Kelly O'Hara, not Alex Morgan.
Oh, I was like
But
baby Charlie.
Baby
Charlie bit me? Are we talking about Charlie bit me?
That's so
bit me. No.
funny.
It was
Yeah.
it was my mistake. I will fact check, but I will not apologize because they do all look exactly the same in their same outfits and masks and ponytails.
Yes, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's
They look
that's
alike.
it.
Long brown
They
hair.
look alike.
Well, I'm glad we set the record straight.
We did. Well, that's it for me.
Yeah. Nothing really to add except I miss the WNBA. I miss
Oh,
Me
I'm wearing
too.
my
beautiful.
my little guy.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
My
WNBA
announcement
sweatshirt.
My announcement is that I updated all the episode titles.
So they're
on
not just
YouTube.
all the same anymore. I don't have Apple Music. I never know.
I'm gonna post that picture on Instagram because it's so funny. And hero of the podcast, I will say, is Mike Magyar. Leah, who was on last episode, her fiance Mike has done so much to help me with figuring out how to make a podcast. Same with James too, but it's the every woman has like a strong man like behind her, like any success a woman has, like it is
And
true
yours
that
is Mike Magyar.
mine is Mike Magyar. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Mike and James.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, Katie, what's your final announcement? I need to know.
I don't think I have one. I think
Yeah,
it was
no,
just
you
that
What's
do.
one I need to know?
Oh,
You have one. What's your
no.
final announcement?
I don't know. Oh.
You moved your room around.
Oh, I did move my room around. Yeah.
That's it. We have a new view from Katie. Her bed
Yeah.
is behind her now because she has moved her room around. Oh, look at that pillow. It's green.
Aw,
My little
is that the
avocado.
avocado? Yeah.
Yeah, it's my avocado.
Avocado.
Cute.
All right, Laura, what's your final announcement?
And not participating in
Well, that actually sucks because we do have to like keep the episode going until you say something.
No.
She's mad. Oh, did you find I left you a gummy frog on your pillow?
Oh yeah, I ate it.
That's the announcement.
It tasted banana flavor.
I thought it tasted like lime. Our sister bought us a advent calendar filled with candy.
Cute.
Harry Potter
Potter
themed candy specifically.
Cool. Oh my god. A gummy
Wow.
candy sounds so good right now.
It was a
That does
gummy
sound really
frog.
good.
It came with two, so I gave
Except
her
for
one.
I got
because
the
She got the
beans.
gross beans. Have you
Oh,
guys
so-
ever had the beans? And sometimes you
Yeah,
get
they
like
are
a gross
gross.
one, and it's really a
Earwax.
nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she got the beans. We alternate every other day. So far, we've done it one time each.
I
'Cause
love
So your whole
Because
calendar
December.
is beans.
no, just day one.
yesterday.
Oh, okay.
it.
Okay.
but they're all Harry Potter.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm hoping for
so
a chocolate
cool.
frog someday.
Chocolate frog.
I hope you get that.
Thank you.
I hope so too. Well,
I
I hope
wish
you
I
all get chocolate frogs, and I hope you, enjoy your life. As always, stay active. That's like our main message to you, and stay engaged intellectually. Is another thing.
That's what I most want for people.
Yeah.
Staying active and engaged intellectually are my two go-to things that I do in life.
I could say two things. It would be those two things.
And if nothing else,
Lay on
think
your couch and watch TV.
what would Kennedy Carter do?
Yeah.
A huge thank you to our guest today, Laura Kolbicz, the apples of our eye, the apple
We have
of our
several
eyes.
apples of our eye. of our one collective
She's good
eye.
has one eye, and Laura is several.
One collective eye, but several apples in them. Of them.
Exactly.
Of them.
And she's
Thank
the
you
one.
so much for joining us today,
Thank
humoring us
you.
at every moment.
Yes.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
End of the podcast.
End
It's
of
the
the
end of the
podcast.
End of the podcast.